Secretary to the Government of the Federation.
In the area of peace building in our country. Today, I am very privileged to stand before Mr. President to give a brief account of what has been done in this respect. Since assuming the duty in the Nigerian Christian Pilgrim Commission in July 2020, I have taken steps to strengthen peace building as a component of my work in the Commission. A peace building desk has been created. Number 2, creating awareness on the need for peace building. As a prelude to laying a proper foundation on the work of peace building, I emphasize the need for all Nigerians to embrace peace as part of my engagement with the media. A number of visits were also made to selected key figures in peace-building dynamics. Actual peace-building activities start with a 3-day peace summit on southern Kaduna. As a way of de-escalating the rising violence in southern Kaduna, I interacted with a number of key figures with a view to holding a peace summit involving all major stakeholders. The executive governor of Kaduna was consulted and he gave his blessings for the summit. The 3 days peace summit was all-embracing and participants made contributions freely and passionately. At the end of the exercise, far-reaching decisions were made, and the government of Kaduna was informed of the key issues for consideration of areas that required government intervention. A major resolution at the Kaduna summit was that all stakeholders should take the task of building peace as their collective responsibility, and not to depend wholly on government to create peace. Stakeholders therefore agreed to go back to their communities to sensitize their kin and kins on the need for peace. Your Excellency, let me also add that we do not just hold a peace summit for 3 days alone. We make sure that we leave behind a structure. And so a 10-man committee was raised, 5 from each faith, 5 from Christian, 5 from Muslims, and they have been doing a lot of work behind to make sure that they conduct the implementation of some of the critical points. And I'm glad that 2 of them, the co-chair, are here from Southern Kaduna. Since when we left, they have been doing a tremendous work by calling meetings and doing so much behind us. A full report of the 3 days peace meeting on Southern Kaduna will be submitted to Mr. President today by his permission. Number 4, peace building effort in Plateau, Benue, Taraba, and Nasarawa states. Following the crisis in Plateau states, as a result of killings among farmers and herders, a 3-day peace forum was also organized, and that was 2 years ago, with pastors, imams, and traditional rulers, women leaders, and youth leaders. One amazing fact that these interactions is that all participants are desirous of peace. It therefore appears that criminals are at work in escalating this crisis. In the same vein, from Plateau State, we have a structure on ground. The co-chairs are here. They're doing a lot. Anytime there is a crisis, there's an intervention from the same group. The Tiv and Jukun crisis in Taraba, Benue, and Nasarawa State is not different. I had an extensive meeting with the governor of Taraba State, His Excellency Architect Darius Ishaku, on the need to embrace peace in the Jukun in the Tiv Jukun crisis. Similarly, I have met with the governor of Nasarawa State, His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi Sule. Both of them are inclined to finding lasting solution on the Tiv, Jukun, and other related crises that affected their respective states in a way. In the very near future, I also intend to hold a similar meeting with their Benue State counterpart, His Excellency Mr. Samuel Otom. There is clear evidence that the desire to embrace peace is glaring from stakeholders on their either side of the divide. We will continue to work assiduously until full peace is realized. Peace-building efforts with religious leaders as a way of reducing ill feeling in the church towards activities of government. A peace summit involving all hierarchies in the church is proposed. As a component of the peace summit, a prayer summit will be held to dust the mounting pressure within the polity in Nigeria. Part of the overall engagement with the church was a meeting with Christian leaders in Lagos State, which was held on the 13th to 14th of December 2020. The purpose of the meeting was to get Christian leaders involved in the peace-building process. Lagos was considered very strategic in this respect, especially with the talk of second edition of the NSAS protest gathering momentum then. About 50 eminent church leaders in Lagos attended the meeting, proffer specific solution to enhance peace in the country. A communique was issued at the end of the parley, and this elicited great and favorable reaction from the general public on the need to have the church to play a more active role in achieving peace in Lagos. Your Excellency, let me add, if you recall, before the NSAS protests, some key top church leaders were making a prayer protest on the street with their members of their churches, and that is what we went to make sure we approach them, bring them together, and have a discussion. And it was very, very fruitful. Meeting with church leaders in the South-South, Southeast, and South-South zones is a proposal. As a follow-up to the Lagos meeting, similar meeting will be held in Southeast and South-South to win the support of Christian leaders in this zone in peace building. This will then be followed by a peace summit with selected leaders of the church in Nigeria alongside prominent Nigerian Christians to discuss a way of achieving peace in Nigeria. And also a combined summit of both Christians and Muslim leaders is also proposed to be held in the second quarter of 2020. Meeting with National Youth Council of Nigeria and ethnic youth leaders. The leadership of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, together with ethnic youth leaders, have met with me in my office, and we exploit the possibility and the advantages of joining resources to host a national conference of the Youth Council of Nigeria. And this is very, there is every need to buy in the support of youth leaders in the effort to achieve peace nationally. Only such buy-in will curtail youth restiveness that culminated to such events as the NSAS protests and other related anti-social behaviors on the part of our youth. We will not rest on our oaths until we reach our desired goals. Challenges. Your Excellency, let me not bore you. Our challenge is only about funding, and I'm glad, I want to appreciate few Nigerians who have actually been supporting us, including the Secretary to the government, who has helped us various times in some of the places we want to go on this peace mission. We appreciate if there's any effort to help us to move further than what we have been doing. Reports and recommendations. We've already put some of our reports in our recommendation, but the few that we have here is, number one, the continuous engagement of our local communities in dialogue as a means of resolving dispute, just like the Southern Kaduna Plateau and as well as Lagos Peace Summit. Issues generated, if properly addressed, will bring about lasting peace in Nigeria as a whole. Most of the places we have gone, just to report to you that they are so happy to see the presence of federal government telling them the concern that they have for them. They feel belong to the country, and such approach is very important when we go to the communities and approaching issues from the community base. Secondly, promoting and strengthening of good governance at the grassroots or the peripheral level. By so doing, development can be sustained. Number three, the federal government should encourage sustained government commitment towards community policing to prevent crimes and solve other crime-related challenges. The federal government should establish more police posts at crisis-prone areas to reduce crime rates. Number four, the federal government should engage the youth by promoting agriculture at the community level, especially mechanized agriculture, and agricultural loans should be granted to engage the teeming youth at the peripheries. The federal government should call on states that have white papers on crisis to implement them so that citizens will take government more serious. It may not be necessary to implement all, but when they start the necessary ones, it will go a long way. The justice system at the local government must be strengthened. Government must ensure compliances with the law, that is, perpetrators of crime must be punished and victims must get justice. Internal displaced persons, IDPs, camps must also be well cared for. Your Excellency, I want to also let you know it was on this point we went to both Christians and Muslim camp in Southern Kaduna, and they earned the trust that we had the access to speak to them, and they all come together, both Christians and Muslim. So this is key when we take care of the displaced people. Number seven, government should be decisive about the issue of grazing reserve and ranches. Number eight, government should encourage local intelligence to help reduce crime. And what I mean here is information is power. Before we get to Southern Kaduna, we sent a team of the same locality to spend about 2 weeks there and gather a lot of information from the local people, which they may not like to be identified publicly. And such things could be encouraged. Number eight, government must also identify and promote balanced religious leaders and discourage fanaticism, thereby encouraging liberal religious leaders to speak on ideologies that promote peace and unity in the country. Number nine, the role of social media in peace building should be emphasized. Well, what I mean there is social media is full of so many fake news, but we can do a lot by educating our people, talking to them who have been acting out of ignorance in so many issues. Number 10, finally, is federal government should build infrastructure in the troubled areas to promote development, thereby engaging the idle youths who are mostly used as tools for crisis. Implementing the recommendation contained in the different reports will go a long way in this in the escalating crisis in different regions of our country. Appreciation, I humbly appreciate Mr. President's vision on peace building and deeply grateful for the confidence reposed on me in this respect. And also appreciate the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss G. Mustafa, has been very, very helpful and encouraging since my assumption of duty as Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrim Commission. I am deeply grateful to him for his brotherly disposition. I also want to appreciate the Chief